I really like the Voltaire quote, uncertainty is uncomfortable, but certainty is absurd. That if you're sort of feel like you're on stable ground, you're sort of deluding yourself. But it's the same for every technology shift, isn't it? Like when you had sort of chatbots 3 years ago, everyone was doing chatbots for everything, from dating to procurements. You know, it was AR, VR, it's like, but you can now, you know, do whatever, but in VR. You can do whatever, but with a HoloLens. It's almost always wrong, but you kind of got to try different things to see what sticks. And part of the attitude in Silicon Valley is that sort of unbridled optimism that they fund any crap that sort of seems like it could work. Because if it does work, the reward is huge. And what that does for society as a whole is lets us try crazy ideas that you know 99.9% of the time won't work. But if they do, they make all our lives better. The concept of blockchain and sort of databases and all this stuff, I'm still firmly convinced we're very, very, very early in sort of the shift. But the shift's going to happen way faster than it ever did before. People like to say, oh, we're in the early 90s when it comes to blockchain. But hey, for internet to evolve, you had to dig up the ground and put fiber optic cable under the oceans. You had to figure out 3G and 4G and all this sort of thing. All that infrastructure is there. Two and some billion people have internet in the pockets today. We can just build right on top of that. So blockchain, neither the infrastructure nor the knowledge of how to apply that infrastructure to utility and applications, that's not figured out yet. But let these people take their tries, right? Let them take their different swings, and just like any other startup, 99.9% will fail, and out of the bottom, some cool things will pop out. If you think about it, I mean, the internet has been this entire history of unbundling and bundling. The internet has decentralized a lot of things, and then things end up centralized in the hands of much bigger players than ever before existed. The internet decentralized the supply of information. You can get it anywhere, but it sort of reaggregated the demand of information, because now everyone gets it of Facebook and Twitter, right? Same thing with Airbnb, Uber. You decentralize the supply of transportation, you decentralize the supply of accommodation, but the demand is centralized, because guess what? You can't trust a random person off the street, right? So you need Airbnb to do the ratings, to do the vetting, to do all this stuff. What I think is interesting about blockchain is a lot of, and I'm not saying, hey, let's go build Airbnb on the blockchain, Uber on the blockchain. The actual challenge there is market adoption, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Nobody understands any of this stuff, and if they're not willing to buy a cat, they will not be able to they will not be willing to put up their house, right? But it's perfectly logical that a technology that allows us to interact with strangers and replaces trust would be able to help us unbundle the demand side of any marketplace.